Hello and welcome to episode 1053 of The Sleeper and the Bust. It is Tuesday, May 17th. I'm your host, Paul Sporer, joined this morning by Justin Mason. Justin, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm quite well. How about yourself?
I'm just out here throwing no-hitters and still losing.
What are you, the Reds?
Apparently. Yeah, that's that's the epitome of their season. Is just
completely
like,
emblematic of both teams, to be honest, because
yeah.
the Pirates winning a game where they're no hit, also just perfect Pirates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
I was couldn't have happened to two better franchises.
It's kind of hilarious. And then my dumbass went on a betting show yesterday and recommended the Pirates. First 5 innings, Dylan Peters had been pitching well. He had 19 2/3 scoreless. I was like, you know what? Getting some offense will be tough, but I'll go Pirates first 5.
Jason and I recommended fading Wade Miley on a 2-start. Like, just he was coming off the IL. It was his first, start of the year.
Pittsburgh, Arizona, though, that's tough.
Yeah, it just felt like a trap.
We both took the L's there. You just never know what. Yeah, like you said, being a trap. Like, you don't always know when guys like that are ready because they're like finesse guys, and when it's bad, it can look really bad. And so, like, I get it. That setup was pretty juicy though, so I wasn't blaming anybody that picked up Wade Miley. Like, I totally understood it. And he pitched very well. Let's get into a couple bits of news and then play a little buy low or no go with some really struggling hitters. Some guys we've talked about before and they're still struggling. Kind of see where you're at with them if you want to go buy them in a trade league or on a waiver wire of like a 10 or 12 teamer where some of these guys are almost certainly popping up. But let's get into news first. Carlos Correa is going to be activated today, Tuesday the 17th again, for those that aren't listening when it comes out. What's this going to do for the playing time situation here? Royce Lewis has been the consistent shortstop, but has excuse me, I was going to say, but has a low output. He does not. He actually has a 125 WRC plus.
Yeah, he's been great.
Yeah, I missed some hits there.
He had a grand slam the other day, I think. Right? I mean,
yes, I knew that, but yeah, a couple more hits since, a couple 2-hit games. Bottom line, he's been playing well. So he's been playing well. Do they try to keep him up in some sort of capacity? Or is there just no room at the end? You got Nick Gordon playing left with an 85 WRC plus. Maybe that's who I was confusing Lewis with, but he's out of options. So you're not keeping Lewis up to be a part-time like bench guy, are you? Is this the end of the Royce Lewis experience for now?
I hope not. I don't think so. I mean, the Twins are a team that are trying to compete, and it's clear that Royce Lewis makes their team better. I want to say, maybe did they just get Garlick back?
Garlick is back. Yeah, he was called up yesterday from AAA.
Kind of wonder if
in preparation for this move, did they call up Garlick, knowing that they're gonna? I don't know. I'm nervous. I think this is it for Lewis for right now. And when I say it, I just mean
Garlick was activated from the IL, so it wasn't like.
Was he on rehab then?
That's where he was on his rehab assignment.
Okay.
Celestino, maybe
Gilberto
Celestino. Maybe they send him down.
He's got an option, but are you keeping
so does Garlick
up to not play him every day?
No, I think he should play every day. I think he should play over Gordon. I don't think there's any reason.
I think so too. So Nick Gordon as a super util makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, and even if he's not playing in left every day, there's like plenty of spots they can move him around to. He's played all around the diamond, especially coming back from that devastating leg injury. So I think, yeah, his time is now. He's got nothing to prove in AAA. And
Lewis, you're saying?
Yeah, Royce Lewis has just nothing to prove, and he makes the team better. So I would it shock me if they send him down? No, because teams are just going to do what they think is in their best interest. But I have a hard time rationalizing how it would be in their best interest to send Lewis down. So my hope is he stays up. I don't have him anywhere. But
yeah, I just want to stay up because I like him.
yeah, I just enjoy watching him play, and I think the future is bright. There's power, there's speed, and I think a pretty good hit tool. He's one of the most athletic. He's what we want Joe Adele to be.
Yeah.
And so hopefully they give him an opportunity. I think they will.
Yeah, I hope you're definitely right on that with Royce Lewis. With Correa's return, obviously going to take him off as short, but you could still bounce him around a bit, or just plant him in left and really put Nick Gordon in that utility role. I think that's the way to go with Carlos Correa.
And they're going to want to keep Correa. Like, I don't know that they want Correa playing all the time. I mean,
yeah, maybe
we're
he
playing
gets
a lot, but they want to give him breathers too. And
a few spotty days off here and there. Right now, in this first 2 weeks back type of deal, if they're worried about him in any capacity, that makes some sense too. I could totally see something like that with Carlos Correa, but hopefully Royce Lewis stays up. That would be the best. Johnny Cueto, dominant in the season debut. I just want to talk about him for a minute, just to see if you're seeing anything there. We're seeing so much good pitching this year with obviously the mush ball and everything. Johnny Cueto still got some gas in the tank. I mean, he wasn't terrible for your Giants last year. 4.08 ERA, 137 whips running high, but you take that ERA in a lot of deeper leagues. 14% strikeout minus walk rate, not too terrible. Just kind of okay overall there for Cueto. But we play in deeper leagues, so guys like this definitely have some potential. Is Cueto on your radar after a gem against the Royals?
I mean, does he get to face the Royals every time? Because I think that is
Probably not.
He had 7 strikeouts. I want to say he had 8 whiffs. Like, I mean,
But
this was him
against that team. Getting 8 strikeouts is actually pretty difficult. They don't strike out, so I give him some credit for that.
They're a bad team. He's not good anymore. Will he have usable outings? Yes. He still throws hitters' timing off. Like he just messes with people, and he's kind of a hard guy to know what exactly is coming at you and what speed and kind of squaring him up. So I think he will be usable as a streamer in good matchups in 15-team leagues, but that's about it. Like he's not someone like I'm rushing to add to my teams.
Yeah, nobody's rushing to get Cueto. I'm keeping an eye on him. Just talked about Wade Miley, who popped off yesterday against the Pirates, gets the Diamondbacks later. I think it's that kind of vibe where it could be a decent ERA with a high whip, not enough strikeouts necessarily. We haven't seen a 10% swinging strikeout. Well, last year I guess rounded up to 10%. But before that, it was 2017 for Johnny Cueto. So it does put a lot on batted ball quality, like things going his way. With
what happens, like Giolito is supposed to return here in the next day or two.
Today, no? Isn't he supposed to be part of the doubleheader?
Yeah, that's right.
That's what RotoWire has at least.
What do they do with Cueto then? Like,
I don't know.
I mean, I guess they could.
Now I'm seeing somebody named Davis Martin will start. So I don't know. Maybe RotoWire was just guessing on that. But
no, I had seen somewhere last night that Giolito was supposed to do game 2 of the doubleheader. So
okay,
so maybe they're gonna.
Yeah, there might not be a spot for him. Like Dallas Keuchel, isn't he better than Dallas Keuchel though? But
He is, but they have no lefties.
Yeah, I mean they still don't, even with Dallas Keuchel's kind of
that's true.
Though. But yeah, like that's the thing. You can keep an eye on him, obviously, with Giolito, and then I don't know what Lynn's latest is, but when both those guys are back, there won't be any.
Yeah, Lynn probably isn't back till mid-June, so
yeah, he'll be an up and down kind of guy. Cueto probably will be. And not expected to return to the rotation until early June at the earliest for Lynn.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not running out to get Cueto. I just want to gas him up a little bit because he had a nice outing, and I'm a big fan. I've always loved Cueto.
I mean, I've loved Cueto too, even before he was a Giant. Big fan of his as a Red, and then it was like he got signed my my favorite team. Got the fall in love with him all over again. He wasn't
too bad for y'all either.
No, I mean, yeah, was it a huge contract? Yeah, but like it wasn't like the Jordan Zimmerman contract, which was like this like same time. So yeah,
that's
just
unnecessarily
throwing shots.
Yeah, like gee.
Oh, because like So like the Giants signed, like I think it was all the same year, right? It was Jordan Zimmerman, Johnny Cueto, and Jeff Samardzija. And I wanted
I
Jordan
believe
Zimmerman
that's correct.
so bad. Like
You did want him, you say?
oh yeah. It wasn't even close to me who was like the stud out of those three. And when you guys signed him, I was like, well, maybe they'll get, Samardzija or Cueto, and I guess I'll be fine. And they turned out to be pretty decent contracts. Obviously the back ends of those deals suck, but
Zim probably would have been better with y'all, just being
he
would
have been
everything that you guys do. Like I wouldn't even be surprised if he had done well with.
I think we all tricked ourselves that he was going to be good long term, and his soft tossing ways.
Ourselves. I disagree with that. That's revisionist. Like he broke down, his body broke down, but he had the skills that should have allowed him to be a finesse guy later in his career, but he never really missed a ton of bats. So he obviously needed to stay strong as a finesse guy, but a lot of it was health too.
But I thought he could be like a Zach Davies or
that's what I'm saying.
Guy. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I don't think we tricked ourselves into that. I think
I loved
hold
him.
up his end of the bargain. I love Jordan Zimmerman too. I still think Casey Mize, like his peak Jordan Zimmerman's statistical profile, which isn't amazing, but it's like quite good still. All right. Let's play buy low or no go here on a bunch of guys, bunch of hitters that are really struggling, high round picks in a lot of cases, or at least relatively strong draft capital spent to get these guys here. And so, it's difficult to necessarily go out and say, cut these guys. We're talking from a team that doesn't have them, though. Would you seek these guys out, whether they're on the wire or available via trade? And let's start with Marcus Semien, who, certainly looks like there's some prototypical pressing to try to make it look like it's worth the contract. Has 0 homers, 2 steals. Strikeout rate's actually down, so he's not pressing from the standpoint of just up there flailing, but he has a 196 BABIP leading to a 162, 224, 215 line. Just truly horrendous right now. Just denting your numbers every week is Marcus Semien. 25% hard hit down from 41%. 3% barrel rate down from 10%. Nothing's going well. What's up with Marcus Semien, and would you buy low here?
Those are tough questions. I think, and there are going to be a number of I'm going to say this answer for a number of these guys that we're going to talk about. I think he's one of the guys who's really hurt by the ball, and especially the park change and the ball combination. He's a guy who doesn't have like elite power, and so he's not able to kind of drive the ball in the same way that he would. I like the close-up view that we're getting right now of the mustache. For those of you listening later, you'll have to go back and check out the zoom job.
My camera there.
Yeah, that Paul did. I think he's going to be better. I don't think he's going to be what people drafted him as, which is unfortunate. I still think he could be like a 15-15 guy. In total, so 15 home runs. I still
think he gets more homers than that. I'm still seeing like 18 to 20 for Marcus Semien. I mean, the plate skills are still there. I mean, it's a 0 homer to fly ball rate. Obviously, if you have no homers, like I don't know. I never thought it was going to be Toronto.
I don't think anybody.
So
no, everybody was screaming regression, and we all knew there was going to be regression. It was a matter of like how bad. I think this is too far. Like clearly not. He's not going to be this bad, but I think, I think that he's one of these guys that is hurt by the dead ball. But as things warm up, that'll become less of an issue in places. So. I think he'll ultimately end. I think at the end of the day, you're going to be like, that was a disappointing season, but he's not going to be the reason teams lose. So,
that's would I buy with Semien?
Back to your initial question of would I buy low? It depends on how low I'm getting him for. If I'm getting for him for like 50 cents on the dollar, then I think I take that gamble. The hard part is. Guys don't always want, or your players don't always want to sell guys that low.
Of course. Would you In a 10-teamer, would you cut Max Muncy to pick up Marcus Semien?
Would I cut Max Muncy to pick up Marcus Semien? I would. Max Muncy looks lost.
Would you cut Jake Cronenworth?
Yes.
Would you cut Javier Baez? 576 OPS. Okay. What about an IL to Jonathan India? Let's just say it works out to where your IL is full of higher end guys, Jacob deGrom and somebody else or something. You only got a couple IL spots here. So he's basically been a reserve. Would you cut India for Semien in a 10-teamer? I'm with shallow leagues because this is the only likely time that would happen. But with India's strained hammy looking like it's going to be a while,
I think I would. Yeah, I think I'd be okay with that. I'd rather not, but
sure. If
I'm in a situation where he's clogging up my bench because I don't have any IL spots available, then yeah, I think I would.
Would you cut Colton Wong, who's actually been pretty good, 739 OPS, 3 homers, 8 steals in a 10-teamer to get Marcus Semien if someone cut him?
I don't think I would.
I think I'd just stick with what I got there too.
Yeah, especially because you're getting the stolen bases. Like this.
Exactly. 8 swipes is hot.
Yeah. Here's one. Because he randomly appeared on my waiver wire in a 15-team league. Would you cut Marcus Semien to get Jorge Mateo?
He just got hurt, so I need to know what
he's going to be back today.
Okay. Now I got to cut somebody else. I got to have somebody worse, especially in like a 15, 12 team.
Yeah, I ended up cutting. I mean, I don't have Semien in that league, and so I ended up cutting someone else. But Mateo falling to my waiver wire, I was like, Mateo's got homers, 10 stolen bases,
10 steals, 92 WRC plus. Like his bottom line, like he's about average. Like he's right there.
He's playing every day.
Absolutely.
Against lefties, he's batting second.
I'm with that for sure. Let's stay at second base. I think it's second and outfield for this guy, but I'm shifting the order on you a little bit, just moving the third guy up to 2 and then the other guy down 1. Whit Merrifield. This one's been pretty easy for me. He's already kind of coming out of it, so maybe he wasn't the best inclusion here, but the bottom line numbers are still pretty ugly. You can still buy low. 194, 228, 269, 2 homers, 5 steals. For me, with Whit Merrifield, though, looking under the hood multiple different times, I've never seen anything that's really bothered me. Strikeout and walk rates are fine. Swinging strike rate is a bit higher there, but it hasn't resulted in a lot more strikeouts, I should say. BABIP is painfully low at 207. Fly ball rate has jumped up a little bit, so he's in the air a little bit too much. A few more pop-ups than you like, but other than that, I just am not seeing enough from Whit Merrifield to really be all that concerned, and yet the numbers are atrocious. As I mentioned, he is coming out of it already, so you're kind of buying low when it's a little bit more comfortable. He's on a 7-game hit streak where he's hitting 400 with a 417 BABIP, 2 homers, 2 steals. Whit Merrifield, is he coming out of this and you would buy low with him, or would you stay away from the 33-year-old?
I mean, I don't know that you're going to buy low enough that it makes sense to go and buy him. I'll tell you this. There is some skills decline here.
I'd pay full market.
Wow,
I would
really?
I'd start low, and I would, if it led up to where I had to pay something relatively equivalent, yes. I think he's still going to get all of his numbers, which to me is
like you would trade like a Lucas Giolito for a Whit Merrifield if you were pretty strong in pitching.
Yeah.
Wow, I would not do that. There are some clear skills decline things going on here, even in like this month where he started to rebound. He's hitting like 268. He's got like 2 homers, I think, and a couple steals as well. He's still swinging outside of the zone like almost 46% of the time. He looks like he's getting overpowered at the plate at times. His swing strike rate is up. Like, do I think he's done? Absolutely not. I think he's still going to be a very valuable player, but I'm not paying market value. If I'm trading for
definitely don't think you have to, but I absolutely would, especially if I needed the steals for Whit Merrifield.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, he's still gonna run. Like, he could be like, swinging a wet noodle up there, and he's still gonna probably steal 25, 30 bases this year. So, I think he's a fine guy to acquire. I don't want to pay market value. If someone's making me pay market value or close to market value, I'm probably going a different direction.
I don't really see anybody that would really have the chutzpah to do so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're taking all their steals away, sure, don't trade with that person. Then obviously, if they don't have steals to cover, then you need to back off. But I really am not too worried about Whit Merrifield.
And I still am a little bit. Steals. I'm not like freaking out because, like I said, I think that either way he would steal enough that it will, you're gonna get return on your investment. But like I'm definitely very uncomfortable right now with kind of some of the underlying skills and watching him.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Not really striking out more despite the swinging strike rate going up. Looks like he's coming out of it here in the second half or in the second month, and still has 5 steals too, right? So I only need like 7 to 9 homers the rest of the way. I don't not that much. 25 steals, I think, rest away. I will take that all day with Whit Merrifield.
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to come with the average that maybe we were used to and that people were hoping to get when they drafted him in the second round.
Of the way?
Like 260.
What's wrong with that? He had 277 last year, and with the league averages down, 260 is still going to be comparably higher.
That's fair.
So I mean, I think he's delivering everything that we need him to. Then if he's doing that, if he's going
probably a lot less runs. This is
25 steals. Yeah, I mean, he scored 97 on the team last year with a 317 OBP.
He probably scores like 70.
No shot.
75.
No shot. He's slicing that many off. He has 14 already. He's probably getting you 70 from here on out. Yeah, I think Whit's going to be playing a lot better the rest of the way here. So
you gotta stop calling him Whit because there's a Bobby Whit now.
That I can't help it. That's his name.
You need to call him Whitley.
Whitley Merrifield, the ninth. Jonathan Schoop. We're just doing all second basemen. Guys with dual eligibility at second base. Jonathan Schoop. I think there's a Scopening coming. Jurassic Park, when the girl has her jello and it's jiggling. That's Schoop. He's coming. It's rumbling. This is, a team I watch day in, day out with my Tigers. No one's going to be knocking your socks off with a 250 average in the last 10 games with 2 homers. He's hit into a lot of hard luck outs, even within this last 10 games, let alone throughout the year. But he's starting to really tattoo the ball. Both he and Candelario are. I think it's coming with Schoop. I would definitely buy low here because a lot of cases it's off the waiver wire. And even if it's via trade, it's not going to be expensive. I think there's a Scopening coming, as there always is. I don't really have grave concerns about his plate profile. What do you think about Jonathan Schoop on a buy low?
I don't necessarily have any concerns about his plate profile. He kind of is who he is still exactly. At this point. My big concern with Schoop is how many home runs does he lose because of the dead ball? And I talked about Schoop. I can't remember if it was you or someone else earlier in the season. And I said, I think he's one of these guys who's really hurt because he doesn't have prodigious power. There's still going to be the Scopenings that happen throughout the season. He's one of those guys where you draft him and then you can't look at the weekly line.
You don't want him in head-to-head leagues.
Yeah, because
he'll kill you for weeks at a time, and then he'll win you. He'll win you 2 weeks on his own.
And then but that being said, I think he's probably going to be just a lesser version of what he's been in the past, which is a low 20s homer guy that hits 260, is dual eligible. He's a perfect 15-teamer kind of dude that is a glue guy. He's not. You never think, oh, I won my league because of Jonathan Schoop, but you didn't lose your league because of Jonathan Schoop, and he's a little compliment piece. I've been a big fan of his since. Too. Yeah, exactly. I've been a big fan of his since Baltimore. So I'm not necessarily running out to get him, but I'm also not dropping him either. If you've got a daily moves league or something like that, maybe you pick him up in case this is the beginning of the scoping. Hit a home run last night. Like you said, he's been kind of hitting the ball hard. He's just been running with like an insanely low BABIP. So maybe this is the time in which he goes off for a couple weeks. So maybe you want to try to jump on and ride the hot streak right now. But like I wouldn't trade for him in a league. Like I wouldn't give up another asset. I would just drop someone who's the bottom of my roster.
I mean, in a lot of instances, I think you can just pick him up, but I'd be open to trading for him too. If my offense is sputtering, I'd do a sell low for sell low type of deal, low for low, and see what happens. Because when Schoop goes off, he's just insane. And I hope it's coming. I think it is. He and Candy both hitting the ball a lot harder lately, and we'll see if it continues. Let's go behind the dish. There is another second baseman coming up, but I'll keep him until after this one. It's one of Whit's teammates. Yasmani Grandal. This one's probably gonna be fast. I don't know. Maybe you got something, but I see nothing here. I see this is prototypical Grandal. When he's down, he can look like the worst hitter in the league. When he's up, I mean, we talk about the scoping. There's Grandalings that happen too, and he is just electric as well. He doesn't get the same run for those ups and downs the way Schoop does, but he has that same sort of vibe. You check in at the end of the year, and you're usually where you're supposed to be. So I don't see too much here with Grandal that has me concerned. I would definitely be open to buying him, or if heaven forbid he's being cut in like 10-team leagues, I would go scoop him instantly.
Of all the guys we've talked about so far, this is the one I want to buy low on the most. He's hitting the ball hard. His hard hit percentage is like 44%. He's barreling it, over 8% of the time. His zone contact is almost at 90%. Like, this is going to turn really fast.
Yep.
And he's going to go from being like a player that people are like, oh, I need to get this guy off my roster, to a guy like everybody's going to want to have.
A 5-homer week will flip his entire line.
Yeah, and I think it's going to happen here at some point. I've got a lot of Grandal, and yes, he has been killing me so far this year, but I have no doubts that he is going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah, we're not just wish casting here because we have him.
No.
Like the stats, the plate skills are excellent. The strikeout rate's actually down a bit, down to 18%, which would be his best since 2013. Still walking a ton. 6%
lowest swinging strike rate of his career.
Yeah.
Like his zone contact numbers are the best of his career. He's swinging outside the zone 21% of the time, which is like outrageously good for a catcher. Like,
Grandal changes his plate skills completely, or not completely, but like alters them positively, and gets one of the worst batting averages when he should be hitting like 260, which would be like 300 for him. So he deserves better. It will come. Sit tight with Grandal or go pick him up.
His current batting average is 176. His XBA is 234. Like, he is just getting super BABIP'd and unlucky right now. Like, he's gonna be fine. Like, he's probably not gonna hit 260 or something like that, but like he's gonna hit 240 and have like 25 plus homers, and he's gonna be a guy you're totally happy that you got where you got him.
Absolutely agree. Back to second baseman, back to the Royals. Nicky Lopez. Am I mean if I rub this one in?
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, this one was so obvious. Come on. It was such a bad buy in draft season. Who fell for that? Why?
I did. I fell for it.
He leveraged a 347 BABIP to hit 300. He went 22 for 23 on the bases, which is good. He does have speed, but it was just so clearly a career year in hitting. And he's right back down to 55 WRC plus, which is where he was prior to this year. I think he's better than a 55, but not better enough that I actually care about him in fantasy. I wouldn't even pick up Nicky Lopez right now. I just don't see anything here. He's a punchless batter, and that really affects him. What say you about Nicky Lopez?
Yeah, I'll take my L here. But
by the way, I could have included Brendan Rodgers, and we could have each just taken an individual L.
Brendan Rodgers starting to heat up, so I'm not gonna.
Okay, but
I'm not gonna throw that softball out there and have.
I was gonna say
crushed.
I want around in my face.
Yeah, like a Kurt Casale homer. But yeah, I'll take the L on Lopez because he not only has he looked like his punchless self, which is one of the main concerns that people had with him, is like, hey, he is no pop at all, which means he has to maintain these really high contact rates. He's not maintaining these really high contact rates. Like, this is a guy who has historically been like a 90% zone contact rate. Right now, his zone contact is like right below league average.
Dang.
So you mix that with the fact that he has no pop, and that is not a good sign. Like, is he getting unlucky? Absolutely, he's getting unlucky.
Sure, 229 in BABIP for Nicky Lopez.
He's a career 300 guy, but he's not like, his batting average is not completely undeserved. Like, his XBA is like 222 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, like, yeah, is he getting unlucky? Yeah, but he would still suck if he wasn't getting unlucky. So,
by the way, I didn't even know that you were really in on him. I didn't set that one up to.
Like, I didn't get a bunch of them, but like at the price, he was worth the gamble. Like, potential 25 stolen bases, and he showed really, really good contact skills last year. I don't know what's happened to those. Like, those shouldn't have just disappeared overnight to a guy as young as he is. Like, he's, I guess he is older than I thought. He is 27.
Been around for a little bit.
But like, last year his zone contact was 92.8%. His zone contact this year, 83.3%. That is a huge drop off. That is almost a 10% drop in zone contact. In, for context, 85-ish is about where league average is.
Mm-hmm.
So like, he went from being an almost elite guy in terms of making contact within the zone to a guy that isn't even league average right now. And you add that in with the lack of pop, and yeah, nobody's afraid of him. Pitchers are just going after him, and he can't catch up right now.
That's the thing. They're attacking Nicky Lopez and just saying, hey, hit it. If you can hit it, you can have it. And he can't hit it right now. And it's just really stung him. And it did feel like kind of everything came together really nicely last year. I understand that there was some speed potential. I don't mess with rabbits like that in general. But then the bat really coming down has certainly hurt Nicky Lopez. He's going to be popping up on a lot of waiver wires. What about a guy we both like, Alex Verdugo? And one of the main thing that we like about him is obviously his chief export, which is batting average. He's a career 282 average, hitting 205 with a 206 BABIP. He's still not striking out. In fact, career best 12% with a 6% swinging strike rate, which is close to a career best. Is this just standard issue unlucky BABIP, or is there more to it with Alex Verdugo? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like it kind of is, but I want to know if there's anything that you're seeing differently.
No, I mean, his XBA is 283 right now.
There you go.
Like, I mean, his
bad luck.
Yeah, zone contact is actually up from last year. Like, he's doing everything he needs to be doing to turn this around. I think it's just a matter of time before it does. I also think this is another one of these guys that's hurt by this dead end ball. There's been plenty of times where he's like hit the ball hard, and you're like, oh, that's going to the wall. Oh no, wait, that just went to the center fielder.
Lazy fly out. Yeah. So frustrating, man.
So I do hope that he's one of these guys that, as things start to warm up in Boston in the summer, like, those balls that are being caught in dead center field or going to the wall, and some of the ones that have been hitting the wall are going to go up over it. So yeah, I think he's going to be fine. Like, this is, I think, a pretty easy buy low. If someone drops him in one of your leagues, go grab him, because we could be talking 3 or 4 weeks from now, and he's been hitting 300 since today. So yeah, Verdugo's a guy, like, I'm not worried about it all. I was talking to Eric Samelsky and Dave McDonald last night, and I was saying, like, I've got some like teams that are kind of middling, and I've got some really bad teams. And it's like, for the most part, I'm not worried about him. Like I've done deep dives on him, and I'm not super worried about those teams. You're seeing a lot of these guys who are just, being hurt, I think, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you look at some of these offensive players, and Verdugo is a great example. Like, it has to come back. It has to. Now, ESPN has stuck with him 89%, but Yahoo's down to 66%. I'm going out and getting him in those leagues.
Absolutely.
I'm looking to trade for him and others. And again, this is another guy that I'm going to start lower. I'm going to try to get a discount. But if it works its way back up to essentially market value, I would pay that for Alex Verdugo, knowing that I've got a lot of goodness coming my way.
Verdugo is the type of guy you take like one of like your surprising like pitchers that probably aren't going to stay surprisingly good.
Yes.
And you go trade for it. Because like right now, pitching is still, and through the entirety of the season, so our pitching has been like really amazing, right? Like we're seeing like these, Will Crows like throw like, 5 scoreless innings.
Bruce Zimmerman is a guy.
Yeah, right. Right now, I think is the time to start exploring trading that pitching, that the guys that are mediocre but pitching well, for the potential stud hitters that aren't performing well. So like,
now, I think go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was like, if I could acquire like a Verdugo or a Nelson Cruz, or for the the Bruce Zimmermans of the world right now, I'm gonna try to do that.
What about for somebody? This guy, I don't think he's quite as low as Bruce Zimmerman. I think Bruce Zimmerman's a cut below this guy, but still sort of same vibe. Would you trade Josh Winder for either of those guys that you just mentioned? Verdugo. Who else did you say?
Nelson Cruz. Yeah, I would.
Oh yeah. That's the kind of deal I would do. And I think that, you find one of those rare teams. They don't happen a lot, but there are teams out there that have struggling pitching. You'd think everyone's pitching's killing it.
I got a couple of them.
I got one where I'm like, everyone has the best pitching in the world, and I got like a 4.90 ERA. What the hell is going on?
I was telling you, I think off air, I don't think I said it on air, but my Tout Wars team right now has been like bouncing between like 3rd and 6th place, and I have a over 5 ERA and an almost 2 WHIP. Like the rest of my team is fantastic, and like every pitcher that gets blown up is the pitcher on my team.
You're like, that's on my team. Yep.
So it, it'll turn around at some point. But that's a team I may end up having to just punt my ratios at some point if it continues to go the way it's going.
That is rough for sure. So yeah, Alex Verdugo fully in on a rebuy right now. Trade market, waiver wire, whatever you can do, get Alex Verdugo, and you should be able to get a discount. But even if you got to essentially get pretty close to market value, I'd still do that. Trent Grisham. I've been seeing his name pop up a lot. I do my morning show Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, where we review previous night's box scores. And I tell you, Grisham questions come pretty consistently. People asking about cutting him. 1 homer, 0 steals, 27% strikeout rate, 12% walk, 152, 269, 250 for the slash. Bottom line, it's a 61% WRC plus, 4% homer per 9, and 213 BABIP. A lot of numbers, all of them bad. Is Trent Grisham going to bounce back? He was already coming off a pretty mediocre year last year, 15-13 with a 103 WRC plus. I was hoping that he was going to rebound and kind of pick back up where the breakout hype left off. We have not seen that yet. Do you have concerns with Trent Grisham?
Oh, yeah. I have massive concerns with Trent Grisham. He has been unlucky, but this is like unlucky like Nicky Lopez has been unlucky. Like he still sucks. Like his BABIP's low, but his XBA is still like 205 or something like that. Like it's
Grisham's earning some of this. Is that what you would
most
say
of
then?
it. Absolutely, okay. Most of it. And I wouldn't even say some. Like he has been atrocious. He's striking out 27% of the time. His zone contact. Remember, I just talked about like Nicky Lopez's zone contact being at like 83%, and that's below league average. Trent Grisham's is 78%.
Oh, damn. That's zone contact.
That's zone contact. Like it's really, really bad. And it's not a matter of like he's making bad decisions or something. Like he's just missing in the zone. Like I don't want to say he's broken because he's still really young, but like,
do you think he might be hurt? Speaking of broken,
I wonder if there's something wrong. Like this is either like a complete lack of confidence. Like he's swinging just in general 6% less, and or 6% less in the zone, 3% less overall. He's either hurt or he's just lost. Either way, the Padres need to get him off this team.
Yeah,
whether it's to the IL or to the minor leagues. I actually don't have a problem selling low or just moving on, especially if you're in 10 and 12s. Like I've got him in 15s, and it's like he has not been in my starting lineup for a couple weeks now.
That's tough.
And I'm very, very close to dropping him for just whatever waiver wire of player of the week. There is
under Grisham.
There isn't anything in the profile that makes me feel like he's going to turn it around.
That's brutal. That's brutal to hear.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I really disagree. I haven't really seen anything here. It's kind of going off the faith aspect with him this year, figuring for a bounce back, bet on the skills, see if the talent starts to manifest the way everyone thought when Grisham was breakout contender. And there's just been nothing good this year. And then the 1 homer, no steals. I think you're cutting him in 10s and 12s right now. You need guys that can play. And we've talked about this throughout the year. When you cut a guy like this, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're out 100%. You can keep him on your watch list and maybe return to him. But I don't think you can continue to run Trent Grisham out there in 10s and 12s and hope to win your league. You need guys that are performing more. And this is part of the churn. Even though this was a relatively high pick, I think it's time to move on from him. At the very least, you need to bench Grisham and get somebody better in there. At the most, you need to cut him and just be done with it in 10 and 12.
I think he needs to go down to AAA and work things out.
That might be what we need right now.
And yeah, I mean, and if I'm saying that about a guy, like he should not be rostered in 10s and 12s.
No.
Like I can understand holding on to him onto your reserve list in a 15, but even there, like I said, he's probably getting, unless there's some sort of sign this week that things are improving.
You start seeing him.
I'm probably cutting him in my leagues this weekend.
He got cut in an NFBC somewhere. He's 97%.
Yeah, he's going to be cutting more. So, I mean, there's really nothing in the profile. I mean, you at this point you're operating on blind faith. And the problem with that is, like, I understand doing that with guys like, someone I talked to, like, made the comment, like, with Nelson Cruz, I just believe he's going to turn it around. Like, I don't.
Merrifield was like that before he started going. Like, I'm just like, I'm gonna bet on Merrifield.
Schoop is another one, right? He's going to be fine. Trent Grisham doesn't have the track record to do that.
Exactly.
Like, that's just dreaming. It's not like having faith that this guy has shown enough skills in the past. Like, he is not. And so I think he needs to go back down to the minors, and which means he shouldn't be on your team more than likely.
Yep. I totally agree with that with Trent Grisham. Tyler O'Neill has been struggling as well. He has 2 homers, 3 steals, though. So way more production than Trent Grisham at the very least. 193, 258, 303 slash. Strikeouts had been coming down. They looked pretty good early on, back up to 29%, though, right in line with last year. 9% walk rate, 2 ticks better than last year. Like, he has small improvements in the walk and strikeout rate, but nothing really to go off of. Ball isn't going out, 6% homer to fly ball, 253 BABIP. What are we seeing with Tyler O'Neill here? Is this standard regression? Is there something more coming? Are you excited about Tyler O'Neill? Would you buy low on him?
I think I probably, it depends on how low I could buy. I'm not paying close to market value. But
I need a massive discount. So if I can't get that, I'm not in.
I don't necessarily need a massive discount, but I definitely need a discount. He was probably overpriced to begin with, as you pointed out numerous times. But I also think, like, he's going to be streaky. Like, this is, look at his profile. Like, he's a guy, he swings and misses. And so he's going to go through extended periods in which he is missing the ball. But there is power, there's speed. He will have, times in which he's really locked in and everything's going right. And the beautiful part about Tyler O'Neill, aside from his amazing biceps, is his defense is so fantastic. He is not coming off the field, so he's going to have opportunities to work through this. So like I don't have a problem buying low on him. You actually need to buy low. Like you need to get a discount of some sort.
Yeah.
So.
With Trent Grisham, okay, so he was going around pick 50 to 60. Or not Trent Grisham, Tyler O'Neill. Would you give Nathan Eovaldi, who went pick 102? He's been playing quite well, 40 innings, 3.15 ERA, 107 whips. He's probably playing better than that. But as far as draft capital goes, which we still use as at least somewhat of a guide this early,
I think it's fair.
Is that low enough? Okay.
Yeah, especially if your pitching is
let's assume your pitching is good.
You backed into like some good like low later you got Paul Blackburn, you've got
I was gonna say Blackburn and Kyle Wright. Like let's just say you
right,
got
exactly.
Guys,
if I've got both those guys, then especially considering Nathan Eovaldi's injury history, like that could end in a minute. I mean every pitcher could. So like
sure. But Eovaldi has extensive.
He's got a long track record and he's coming off of a season in which he threw a lot of innings. So I think I'd do that. I think that is exactly the kind of move I'd be looking to make.
Okay, there you go. So that that's a couple rounds lower. You're not trying to give your Paul Blackburn. You're still trying to give something substantial here, but you are trying to get a discount on Tyler O'Neill. And I'm not averse to that either. I was not a huge fan. I didn't want to pay full market 4th, 5th round type, but I understand the skills are still there and that this call could still blow up in my face. I'm not taking a win here at all because he can get so hot that he can have like one amazing month. With Tyler O'Neill, he could have a 12 homer, 6 steal month that like ensures that he has this baseline that at least is above by end of the year. So I'm not fully out on buying.
I think at the end of the day, he's still going to have enough homers and stolen bases for you to be satisfied with what you drafted. The question is where the batting average. Like batting average was the reason why like we knew there was regression coming.
Exactly.
Because he just strikes out.
Skills.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and early on, like I said, O'Neill wasn't striking out as much, and I'm like, I thought he was going to have these bad plate skills, and that's why I was out on him. If the plate skills are different, I mean, I'll eat the L or whatever, but it's a different player. But the plate skills are back to where they're supposed to be. So it's kind of now we'll see. Now we'll see. Am I right that he's going to regress too much to be worth that pick, or does he spike and the Tyler O'Neill scopenings that he has are good enough to offset the volatility? And I wouldn't bet against it. I didn't draft him anywhere, but I still wouldn't bet against him much because the skills are robust. Justin Turner, his age finally catching up to the 37-year-old. Strikeouts are still perfectly fine. Walk rate's down a bit, but nothing egregious. Tiny BABIP at 222, like most of these guys. Same with a homer to fly ball rate at 4%. 200, 256, 325 is the slash line. A couple of homers for Justin Turner. What's under the hood with him? Is he going to regress out of this and get back to his level? Do you trust the track record of Justin Turner? Or are you worried that age is finally catching up to the 37-year-old third baseman for the Dodgers?
Maybe a little bit of both. You got to wonder. I mean, whenever Justin Turner is struggling, you have to wonder if there's an injury that we just don't know about.
Yeah.
He definitely, the bat looks a little bit slower. But he's also under the hood. I mean, most things look about the same as they always have. And so I do think there's a rebound coming, maybe not to the level of what we're used to with him, but I think he's going to be a fine serviceable player. And if people are freaking out because he's old, I think that's a little bit unfair. I mean, I don't
out on me because I'm old.
Yeah, I don't think he's washed in the same way that you're washed.
I mean, I've been hella washed though.
Yeah.
Can you be washed if you never were?
Never were. This is a weird.
Yeah.
I don't know that you can be.
So maybe
you were born washed. Yeah.
Ah.
But Justin Turner, I mean, he still makes good zone contact.
So good for so long now.
Yeah,
But he can just go.
this is a blind faith guy, right?
Yeah.
Like this is a
Right,
guy
right
where I
with there
go,
with Cruz.
this is a guy where I go, yeah, I think he's gonna be fine. I'm not, and I'm invested. I'm not worried.
Sometimes you
Like
don't
I'm,
complicate it. You just
mhm,
say, if Nelson Cruz and Justin Turner pop up on your 12 or 10 team wire, you say, you know what? I'll just go for it. I'm going to give it 3
mhm.
weeks or something and just see what's up. Because again, like you said, under the hood, it doesn't show a ton of stuff that really looks problematic with him. The biggest game changer would be if Justin Turner was nursing some sort of injury that we didn't know about that then undercut him. That would be the one thing. But other than that,
Yeah.
I kind of have some blind faith with him too.
I mean, his O swing has jumped the last 2 seasons,
Okay.
which I think is leading to some like poor poor contact.
Sure.
So some ground outs or fly outs that probably, a few years ago he might have, he would have just laid off. So I do think there is some skills denigration. I don't think it's to the level that people should be dropping him.
There you go. Okay. So that's the line there. Like he's not the 127, 138 WRC plus of the last 2
Mhm.
years for Justin Turner, but he's probably still like a 112, which
Yeah.
is positive at a corner. You didn't really have to draft him as your starting third baseman because he still went late. That's the beauty of Justin Turner, too. His age always keeps the price pretty fair. So even with this, regressed version, you're not really getting hung out to dry too badly on the draft cost.
It's still like an 87% zone contact and a 16% strikeout rate. Like it's still really great
Still positives.
skills, that we wish, Trent Grisham had.
Yeah, exactly. And Nicky Lopez. These other guys we're talking about, they would kill for some of these skills. And
I think as the
Turner
ball,
has.
or I think as things start to heat up, especially in LA, the ball's going to start flying a little bit more for him. I think he's going to be fine.
Agreed. We like Justin Turner. Let's go on the opposite end of the age spectrum here and talk about rookie Spencer Torkelson, who is striking out a lot at 31%, but walking 13%. It's not an egregious 11% swinging strike rate, but 203 BABIP has led to a 153 average. The OBP and slugger way down, just a 102 ISO. The power not being there is the biggest issue. I will say, though, as somebody who watches Torque day in, day out, he looks like he belongs. Like, I really do believe that despite the 68 WRC plus. I just think that he's figuring out and he's learning on the job. And that's part of calling a guy up after 90 games at AA and AAA combined. Like, it's not a huge sample. So you had to know that he was going to have some on the job learning. So I'm not too worried about it. I think he can avoid a send down here if he can start to turn things within the next 2 to 4 weeks. But watching him day to day, I don't think he's wildly overmatched. I just think it's rookie struggles right now for Spencer Torkelson. What say you, good sir?
I think he needs to become more aggressive. I think he's being a little bit too passive at the plate.
That's what I'm saying.
When he measures something and takes a real hack at it, the ball flies. I have no fear that he is going to be like anything. Like I think he's going to be above average at worst. Like I think that is his floor long term. As a hitter in the major leagues, and I think
he's looking for the perfect pitch every at bat. Torkelson is, and he'll bypass hittable pitches at times to try to get that moonshot perfect pitch, and then he winds up in a 2-2 count and misses something and then strikes out. Or looks for the walk when he gets behind in a count too. So it's like he has good pitch recognition. There are good things to take away, but I agree with you that he could stand to be a bit more aggressive.
Like he's got a 10% swing strike rate, which just doesn't match up with a 30% strikeout rate. Like that's way lower than a 30% strikeout rate. So it's like, what's happening? Well, what's happening is he's got a higher than league average, called strike rate. He's watching strikes come in and going, oh, no, that's not what I wanted.
That's not perfect. So I can't swing at that. It's like, hey man,
great exit velocity numbers, barrel percentage is fine. Like he's when he puts the ball in play, it's hit hard. I think he's gonna be fine. And I think luckily for him, the Tigers as a whole kind of suck. And so
right here.
But like if they were like if they were like leading the division or like right behind, the Twins or whatever in the division, they might be thinking about sending him down. But because they're
they might
not
not be able to let
competing,
him work through it. That's a good point. That's a good call.
yeah, they're not really competing, and I don't think this is the beginning of the window anyways. I think that probably is next year.
Hopefully.
I think they can afford to just let him struggle a little bit.
I agree. Torkelson has the leeway, and that's why he isn't really in danger of a send down. I don't think it would be surprising to me right now if they sent him down because of the plate skills he's shown and the fact that he has shown like he belongs. He's just kind of grinding through it a bit. But I do think.
How much do the Tigers hate Akil Baddoo that they lost 2 outfielders and didn't bring him back?
I know. They hate his guts. They hate his guts. And
like,
I don't.
Do they only have lefties on the rest of the schedule? Because
you'd think that they think they do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we talked about this, prior to the start of the season, right? Like there aren't many lefties in the Central.
Another part of why I liked him.
Yeah, right. Why I liked Austin Meadows, who's now in the IL and has struggled before. Though I think Meadows gonna be fine. Once he is back, hopefully the vertigo issues aren't a major thing. Hopefully it's not Clint Frazier-esque, but yeah, vertigo is just such a tricky thing. But they must just hate Akil Baddoo to lose both Victor Reyes and Austin Meadows on the same day and not bring him back. Like it just
tell me about it, man. Tell me about it.
Like, don't get me wrong,
it's frustrating.
Jazz Cameron's an interesting young player, but yeah, Akil Baddoo, he was a monster last year, and the Tigers have just given up on the dude.
And he had a good spring too, and I just don't understand why they're like, you know what? We would be interested in this, but what about FU and never play for us? Did you ever consider that? What did you ever consider effing off?
So a few minutes ago, like you said, like, hey, you drafted, you drafted Tyler O'Neill here, and you drafted Eovaldi here, and we still use draft capital to kind of determine a little bit of value, especially this early in the season. And it feels like that's what the Tigers front office did. Like, oh, we got him in the Rule 5. We didn't draft him in the regular draft.
We drafted Daz Cameron in the first round.
Yeah, Daz Cameron was a first rounder and son of Mike Cameron.
He's got the pedigree, so we got to keep him up. And Baddoo can
Akil Baddoo is just the son of Jeff Baddoo.
Freaking Jeff, dude! Why didn't you have a better kid? I don't get it. And like, he's not doing anything in he's not even playing in AAA. He's played 2 games. He's 1 for 9. Did he get hurt? Like,
There's too many lefties in AAA.
There has to be more to this story. Like, I just don't get it.
Like, is there an Avisail Garcia type issue here,
that's what I'm saying, man. I just don't understand.
Yeah. Speaking of a guy you should have bought low on and starting to turn around, Avisail Garcia.
Did he have another homer yesterday?
Yeah, he got dropped in my 16-team dynasty league. I'm not even competing this year, and I picked him up.
16-teamer?
Yeah.
I thought that they could cut
Avisail Garcia. Yeah, guy who just signed with a 4-year deal.
Yeah,
like he's gonna play every day.
Exactly. Like they don't have enough offense to not play him. And I felt like his under the hood looked pretty fine. Like he is a strikeout guy, so it's gonna breed some. Like, okay, 29% K, 2% walk. Like that's some volatility, but he has 3 homers, 3 steals. Like, I'm gonna let it play out a bit on Avisail Garcia. So yeah, that is bizarre. But anyway, got to get going. Got the radio spot coming up. So those are some guys that you can consider buying low on, whether it's pickups or via trade. Marcus Semien, Whit Merrifield, Jonathan Schoop, Yasmani Grandal, Nicky Lopez, Alex Verdugo, Trent Grisham, Tyler O'Neill, Justin Turner, Spencer Torkelson. We got a bevy of opinions on them. I think we're both pretty firmly out on Nicky Lopez and Trent Grisham right now. Otherwise, a bit of a mixed bag on who to go and get. Bring your level down on Semien. Consider like 25 homers, 15 steals, kind of like the high end there, and then work backwards from there. Merrifield, I believe in a little bit more than Justin. Justin doesn't think he's worthless. We both believe scoping is going to happen. We were both probably the highest on Grandal as the automatic pickup. Merrifield's right there for me.
And Verdugo too.
Verdugo,
right there,
yeah. Verdugo, Grandal, jointly we would have at the top there.
Mhm.
O'Neill, we're open to buying. Turner, we're open to buying on blind faith. And Torkelson, we're even open to buying, especially in keeper. Obviously, in keeper, you're not getting any discount. Don't worry about it. Pay full price for Torkelson in a keeper league. Justin, great speaking with you. We'll probably do the same with pitchers on Friday, on some buy low pitchers and see what's going on. Jose Barrios starts tonight. If he doesn't have a good start, he's going to be on that Friday talk. You better believe it. But
yeah,
anyway,
absolutely.
great talking with you, and I'll talk to you later this week.
Take it easy.